Alright, so I really hate using this term, but I'm just gonna say this once. If you're someone who believes Witchdoctor or Privateer need Scratch to do well, and I'm talking about solo gameplay, not team gameplay, purely solo gameplay, you just have a massive skill issue. Hey guys, my name is Perfection, and welcome back to another Pirate101 video. I'm sorry I've been gone for quite a bit of time. I've been busy a little bit, but I'm finally more free so I can finally make this video. You saw the title, you heard what I said before the intro. Basically, I'm going to be talking about some players in the community who just think for some reason Privateer and Witchdoctor, especially Witchdoctor, can't prosper without Scratch. Now, if you guys watch this channel for a bit or we've seen a bit of my solo videos, you've probably seen me do numerous Privateer and Witchdoctor solos without him. And those were placed under loads of restrictions as well. Especially on a Witchdoctor. Like on the Witchdoctor, of course I would have no Scratch. I would have a wand range be really limited. I would not allow myself to use wands that have more than 4 range. If you really want, I could bring it down to 3. Sometimes I even solo on my Privateer with no companions at all. I've done it twice now. And for some reason, it's just a huge common occurrence that I see of people just thinking, oh, if you don't use old Scratch, you're gonna suffer. Oh, if you don't use old Scratch, you're bad at the game. If you don't use old Scratch, you're brain dead. And yes, I saw someone say that. Like, what the hell? But, yeah. Basically, I'm gonna talk about some of these people. Of course, I'm not gonna give any names, but I've seen quite a few people in the community just have these awful takes. And really, to me, this just screams skill issue. Like, I hate using that term. I really hate using that term because I find it annoying, I find it rude, but I can't call it anything other than a skill issue. Now, it's totally fine to use old Scratch. It is totally fine. I do not care whatsoever. You play however you want to play. But it becomes an issue when you say a class is unplayable because of a certain companion. Like, oh, if you have Scratch, which is unplayable, which is impossible to play. That could not be farther from the truth. I have done numerous solos on my Witch Hunter. I have seen other witches do numerous solos. Some of my friends do numerous solos on Privateers, Witchdockers, even Musketeers without Scratch. Even they do it sometimes without restrictions. I saw a Witchdoctor solo Black Annie using no companions. I'll go ahead and link his video down, actually. I'll go ahead and link his video in my description. Because that is really impressive, for one. And for two, it pushes the point that, hey, you don't need Scratch to do this. You don't need Scratch to win a fight as a Witchdoctor. This is the big 2025, y'all. The big 2025. Witch has gotten immensely buffed this update, especially level 75. Their new spells, great. The tools, great. The gear, great. Okay? But for some reason, some people are just still under the impression that Witch is nothing without Scratch. For some reason, people are just under that impression. And then there's those people who get mad when you say you don't use them. Like, I've actually seen that quite a few times. I've seen people insult others because, you're bad. If you don't use those Scratch, you're bad at the game. If you don't use those Scratch, you're brain dead. I've heard of people literally getting yelled at because they don't have those Scratch on the team. But it's not like you ever communicate with them as to what companions they should bring, what companions they're going to bring. And it's really astonishing to me that this is the big 2025 and we're still judging people for how we're playing in a strategy game. Like, okay, maybe that person just wants a challenge. Like, I know people who have valid points. Like, some people don't use Scratch anymore because it got boring. Like, he got boring. That is totally fine. That is totally valid. And I agree. Like, I stopped using him as solo because, for one, he was a huge crutch. Number two, he got boring. Number three, he made things way too easy. Way too easy, especially on a Witch Hunter. The only times they're gonna see me using him is if I'm solo farming something, I just want to be efficient, or if I'm in a group or if I'm in a group setting. Literally one of those two. You're not gonna see me use them literally any other time. Those are the only two times I will be mostly using them. And while I'm talking about this, I also want to talk about the people who still think there's only one way to play privateer. Now, all the classes are pretty versatile. I'll give it that. But people think for some reason there's only one way to play privateer. The most versatile class, by the way, the class that can get away with literally doing anything, literally anything, dude, and still be fine. For some reason, people think, oh, if you don't play shooty staffy only, you're bad at the game. You're bad. You don't know what you're doing. Or if you only do pure melee, or if you do melee, you're bad. Wait, y'all, why are we getting mad over people changing their setups in a strategy game? It's almost like you can play however you want. If it works, it works. Are you going to get some side eyes? Yeah. Like, maybe you'll get some side eyes, like an unusual setup. Okay, you may get a few side eyes, but just when it works and just when you're having fun, why would I give a damn? Why would I give a damn about what you're running? Why would I give a damn about what companions are running? Why would I care? And I know some y'all, I know some people might want to light me on fire for this, but I'm gonna say it right now. The game is a lot more fun when you don't use broken companions, especially Scratch. Okay, I said it. The game is a lot more fun, a lot more challenging, and it's definitely a lot more engaging when you don't use him. He's like a win button. And there's these same people who get surprised when they get mojo burn for 2k damage when they use him, but they still proceed to use him. But guys, there's a reason why they're having all these counters. There's a reason why they're having these guys carry mojo burn, carry Ocuboros, carrying whatever to counter spell power increases. Because they don't want y'all to be too used to one playstyle. And unfortunately, quite a few players in the community still are used to one playstyle. Like, okay, do what you want, but don't go around and judge other people for not running Scratch or for doing whatever they want, okay? But that's all I'm saying. It's really insane because the people I see who don't use Scratch, they're typically chill. I don't care about them. They don't care about me. We do what we want, right? We play in different ways. They work. We keep doing that, okay? But for some reason, when some people just get offended when they hear, oh, I don't use all Scratch anymore, or oh, old Scratch is boring. Y'all, are we kidding? It's like some people just don't know how to play the game without him. And like I said, I don't care what companion you use. I don't care. If it works, it works. But this is really mostly aimed at people who just think it's okay to judge people for not using a certain companion they don't want to use anymore. I don't think it's fine that people are judging others for playing the way they want to play. I don't like it. I don't like how people are judging people for not using old Scratch. It's totally fine if they don't. Totally fine. Totally fine if you do. Totally fine if you don't. If your game plan works, it works. And I don't like how people say Privateer and especially Witchdoctor are incapable of being good without him. That could not be further from the truth. All that screams to me is skill issue. That's all that screams to me. Because have you ever tried playing without him? That's number one. Have you tried playing without him? Number two, did it go well? If it went well, great. If it didn't, okay, you probably did something wrong. Because I will not deny, okay? I won't deny. Things will definitely be hard about Scratch on a witch. Especially on a witch. Definitely. But that also depends on the fight you're in. It depends on how you're playing. It depends on the setup you have. I heard some people say that on witch, it's easier for them without Scratch. And you know what? I can see that. I can most definitely see that. But for some other people, they just think Privateer and Witchdoctor are very incapable. Now I want to ask a question. How are they incapable? Especially Privateer. Witchdoctor, I don't even see an argument for that. Let's go to Privateer first. How does Privateer become incapable without one companion? Yeah, Privateer has absorbed. They have heals. They have bombs. As far as I know, those are literally the only things that scale on spell power. As far as I know. And even then, they have battle zeal, they have disciplines, they have a spirit of corpse, they have absorbs, they have force. They have the freedom to run any command they want. Any. They have the freedom to run any setup they want and get away with it. So I just want to know, how does Privateer necessarily suck without scratch? Because you have your companions to use, you have your captain to use. Like, I've seen my people using offensive privateers, and I think that's pretty cool. But how? How? I just want to know. I've done numerous restricted solos on a privateer. I mean restricted. No doubloons, no crowns companions, like no companions about money, period. No elixirs, no scratch, no Repo Borders 5, none of that cheesy stuff. No, just a pure solo. Like, that's it. And I might start banning powers too, because I really think some powers definitely caught me out. So I might start banning powers as well on my Witch and Privateer solos. But yeah, for now, I'm having a blast playing about scratch. And I really don't see how Privateer and Witchdoctor are unplayable without them. Really, I can always say, one, you didn't try to play without him, or two, you just suck. Like, I know that probably sounded pretty rude. I'm sorry if it did. But I'm just tired of people saying that Privateer and Witchdoctor aren't capable. I have done numerous solos on both classes, especially Witchdoctor. It took me around a week to finally solo the Agrabah Gauntlet, without Raid 5, without the boons, without companions that cost money, without scratch, etc. It took me a while. If that was before the level cap update even came. I didn't have Javelin, I didn't have Soul Express, I didn't have Ogun's Blessing. I didn't have any of that. It is possible, y'all, especially late game. It is possible to win without scratch. I am telling you, this has been proven multiple times by multiple different people. And again, let me reiterate, nothing is wrong with bringing a scratch, okay? Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with using whatever companions you want to use, okay? The issue is when people are so used to one companion, they probably haven't tried any other subs or any other companion. They probably haven't tried altering the strategy. They haven't tried altering the companions. They haven't tried altering their playstyle or gear or whatever or powers. They come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, these classes suck without scratch. Okay, Witchdoctor, saying that about Witchdoctor is one thing, but about Privateer is a really wild statement. And I can't believe, even with all these buffs that Witch and Privy got, still in the big 2025, people think Witches and Privy suck without him. Like, look, if y'all really want, I can go ahead and do more solos. I plan to do more solos. I plan to do more of the solos. I plan to make them harder on myself. So if you really, really want to keep on going, oh, Privateer and Wish ain't good about him. Of course I'm not talking about everybody, okay? Of course I'm not talking about everybody. Most of the community, maybe not most, maybe a little bit. I don't know. All I know is that a portion of the community definitely know what they're doing and saying, okay? But to the people who just think the classes are not good about scratch, period, y'all need to learn to play the game more, dude, okay? Because I'm gonna say this right now. Relying on one companion isn't gonna save you the entire game. It isn't. The devs are cracking down on that. They're making sure you're not just gonna get away with Mojo spamming 24/7. They're adding enemies with Mojo Burn. They're adding enemies with Akiboros. They're gonna, I believe they're gonna have even more enemies in place where you can't just keep Mojo spamming. This is a strategy game, y'all, and you have to realize that, okay, let's say Privateer and Witch were bad on scratch. You still have to learn to adapt. Now, I'm sorry if I came off as a little aggressive, a little angry. I'm not, okay? I'm just a little passionate about this, and I definitely want to do loads of more commentary in the future, but it's just, it gets tiring seeing how many people who likely don't know how to play the game or who likely don't know how to play without scratch are just coming to the conclusion after one or two bad experiences of not using him that two entire classes suck about him. That cannot be far from true. Do I believe Witchdoctor needs more? Yes, most definitely. They need more, but they're in a much better place than they were in before, and you can't deny that.